up? Yeah, I'm right back at you with part two. Some of y'all who didn't hear part one, go check out part one of my NBA State of the NBA season analysis and review. Conference review. The first one I did was Eastern Conference. I hope I upload these. I hope these uploaded in proper order. Eastern Conference. So now we're going to go to the West. Go to the Western Conference, where everybody clearly believes the Lakers are the best team, even though the Jazz are 3 games on the loss side better. 2 games on the win side better. Jazz #1 record in the West. Oh, shit. Who predicted that at the beginning of the season? Not I. The Clippers right there in third at 22-10, 1 game on the loss side behind the Lakers, tied. But the Clippers had a bad loss last night. They looked bad against Brooklyn. Kyrie and Harden, no KD. Clippers basically full strength, and they couldn't do it. They were down most of the first quarter. They played pretty good. I watched the entire game. Second quarter, they let Brooklyn back in it, and then Brooklyn kind of pulled away for most of the second half. Clippers closed the lead in the second half of the fourth quarter, closed the gap, tied it up, and just fell apart at the end. A bad foul call. Kawhi got fouled at the end. I mean, didn't foul at the end. I guess you could call it because he stuck out extended the arm. Excuse me, but I wouldn't have, that was a bad loss last night for the Clippers. But they right there at third. The Suns, they look good. I don't know if they can do. DeAndre Ayton is soft. He's soft. Mentally weak, soft. He plays soft. He's the problem. If DeAndre Ayton can play with that dog in him, they might be better than the Clippers. The Suns. I love Chris Paul, the greatest leader in sports. Shout out to Charles Barkley. I love Chris Paul. Chris Paul guy. Booker. I like Booker. He shoot too many jumpers. I know 3-pointers out of the way. He shoots too many jumpers to me. I would like to see him balance more, get more free throws, more drive to the bucket. Kelly Oubre out there. Maybe he should have stayed, but I love Bridges. I love that bench. They got some guys come off the bench. Johnson, that kid, he's pretty good. I like them. They're a really good team. Crowder, they're a really, really good team. They remind me of maybe similar to the Pistons type of team. Not anybody really great. Chris Paul obviously is great, but he's on the downside, so he's more one tier. He's still an all-star maybe. He's pretty good. He's a really good player. But they remind me of the old Pistons, the Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups Pistons, the way they're structured. And Trailblazers right there at 5. Now the Trailblazers I thought were going to fall hard, and they're playing better than I thought. I believe the only team that can play when their 2 best players are in the backcourt is Steph and Clay. If you're not Steph and Clay, you're not going to win a championship when your two best players and ball dominant players are in the backcourt. CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard. I don't think you can win a championship like that. That's just my opinion. I think Dame needs to play with a center or a power forward, maybe a small forward. CJ is the type of player that needs to be playing with a true point guard, because CJ is the type of player similar to Steph. He should be running off screens, curls, pin downs, pop outs, catching the ball, catch and shoot, a lot of movements. But with Dame, the way Dame plays, CJ can't play the way I think CJ would thrive. If CJ was with a true pass first point guard, I think CJ McCollum would be a perennial all-star, one of the top players in the league. Bradley Beal level. To me, not as big, not as athletic as Bradley Beal, but that level of scorer, I believe, is in CJ McCollum. 25 a game for sure is in CJ. If he's in a different style of offense with a true point guard, if he's playing next to Malcolm Brogdon, and with the right style of offense, CJ McCollum is really, really good player, I believe. Playing with Gordon Dragic, just a real point guard. I think CJ is great. I think they should have kept Whiteside, even though Whiteside is up and down. They would have helped their depth, especially with Nurkic being hurt. I'm not the biggest Cantor fan. Cantor is a good player, good offensive rebounder, screener, but he's sloppy. He drops passes and fumbles. Cantor, okay, I'm not sure that's going to get you to the finals. But I love Gary Trent. Maybe they should trade C.J. McCullough and use C.J. to fill the team out and let Gary Trent take that spot. Maybe they should have brought in Trevor Ariza also. Trevor Ariza should be a guy that should still be there. Melo should be playing the 4 exclusively, stretch 4 exclusively, and catching the ball closer to the box. I like the quick shooting threes with Melo. Melo has been really, really good. I think he could be better. Those knees are bad, though. And he takes a lot of bad shots, but not a lot. He takes a few bad shots, too many, but they're really good. I like Melo there. I hope they keep Melo there the rest of the year. Spurs surprising me at 16-11. Even though LaMarcus Aldridge is soft mentally, ran away from Dame Lillard, ran to San Antonio, and since Kawhi left, it's obvious that LaMarcus Aldridge, you can't build around him. DeMar DeRozan, another mentally weak player, he even came out and said it with his depression stuff. But they're 16-11, pretty good. Not a championship threat, but a really good team that could upset somebody. Trailblazers and Spurs, right where Trailblazers are above where I thought they would be because of the way they started out. They're 8-2 in their last 10. It's pretty good. Spurs are 7-3 in their last 10. That's pretty damn good. Spurs going 2 in a row. The Nuggets 16-14. I thought the Nuggets would be as good as the Trailblazers and the Suns are as far as record. They're only 2 games above 500. They need to look at changing their roster or maybe playing a different style. They need to play through Jokic. I think Jokic should play with a true point guard or make Jamal Murray play the 2, promote Monte Morris to the point, and let Monte Morris have control over the offense when Jokic doesn't. And let Murray do the Steph Curry, Klay Thompson thing, move without the ball, screens off the ball, pin downs, catch and shoots, that type of thing. Take the ball out of Murray's hands. That might be the problem. Or trade Murray, fill out the roster, play through Jokic with a true point guard. And hopefully Michael Porter develops into who you think he's going to be. The Warriors, they're not a championship team, but the Warriors should be better than 1 game above 500. They should be better than that. And I don't know if it's Steve Kerr's fault. Is Steph Curry getting exposed for nothing more than a guy who fills up the stat sheet? I'm going to spark on that because is Steph Curry overrated as far as impact? Not talent or skill. Is Steph Curry overrated as impact? I ain't scared to say it. Is Steph Curry overrated as far as impact? Impact on wins. Is he overrated? Because right now they're 1 game above 500. Andrew Wiggins is playing better than I thought he was. The eye test tells me Andrew Wiggins' stats are good, but it's not impacting wins. To me, Draymond should be playing the 3. Okay? Draymond should be playing the 3. Eric Pascal, the 4. You're going to start whatever center you're going to start at the 5. Either the rookie or the big guy from last year. What's his name? Oh, man, I can't remember his name. The big guy they had last year. They used to back up JaVale McGee also. One of those guys, let them start at center. Pascal, to me, should be starting at the 4. Draymond at the 3. Andrew Wiggins at the 2. And and Steph at the 1. If you're not going to start Pascal, you're going to have to find a way to make Andrew Wiggins' impact more impactful toward winning games. You're going to have to find a way to make Andrew Wiggins, because his numbers look good. I think he's around 20 points per game, 18, 20 points per game. That looks good, but it's not impacting wins. Steph is scoring a lot of points. He's having big games. He's scoring games, but it's not. They lost 2 in a row. They're 5-5 in their last 10. 5-9 on the road. 11-6 at home, which is decent. The Grizzlies at 13-13. The Mavericks at 13-15. The Mavericks should be where the Spurs are, 16-11 or something. Even though Porzingis has been out, they're 5-5 in their last 10. They lost their last game, 7-7 on the road, 6-8 at home. I mean, they're below 500 at home. This team is supposed to be challenging for a conference championship bid. I thought this team would be one of the best teams this year. I thought coming into the season, I thought they would be better. A lot of guys do with their stubbornness of their coach. They have a stubborn coach. Rick Carlisle is stubborn. Ty Lue is stubborn. Because to me, the Clippers, again, let's go to lineups. I'm getting off the Mavericks right now. I want to go back to the Clippers just really quick to talk about their starting lineup. To me, the Clippers starting lineup is going to have to be. It don't matter if you start Reggie Jackson or Patrick Beverly. I say start Reggie, but you can start Patrick. Kawhi and Paul. But the center and power forward position to me is a problem. You're starting Ibaka, which is fine. Ibaka can stretch the floor. He can hit the three. I'm sure that's what Ty Lue's thinking. But Ibaka is a liability on defense. He had 3 blocks last night, but they didn't impact the winning the game. His rebounding, offensive rebounding especially, doesn't impact winning the game. His motor is not there. He's an older player. You can play Ibaka in the starting lineup, but you have to play him at the 4 to me. Play Ibaka at the 4. Play Zubac at the 5. If you're going to start Ibaka, start those guys together, because Ibaka is not a center. He's masquerading anyway, so you got him at the 5 to stretch and to play faster, and because he can hit the 3. But you can play Zubac on the bench. To me, is hurting their defense, because Zubac can block shots, move his feet. He's a pretty good athlete in the paint, blocking shots, rebounding, offensive rebounds, putbacks. You can lob to him. I think Zubac is being underused. He should be starting. I know you want to start Ibaka, but move him to the 4. So start Zubac at the center, Ibaka at the 4, Kawhi at the 3, George at the 2, and Patrick Beverly or Reggie Jackson start at the 1. And then the bench, I know you'll be short big men on the bench, but Kabengele should be playing more. Shout out to Florida State. North Florida in the building. Kabengele should be playing more. He's a good player. He also can shoot the 3 and stretch the floor. And he can rebound. He's very athletic. He can play. I don't understand why he's not playing more. Ty Lue, again, to the stubbornness. And let's go back to the stubbornness of Rick Carlisle and how it hurts the Mavericks. Rick Carlisle, again, is also stubborn. Luka Doncic is handling the ball too much. Rick Brunson's son should be starting. Is it Jalen Brunson? Brunson should be starting at the point, and he should be made into the extension of the coach, running the offense, initiating the offense, telling Luka where to be. Luka should be moving without the ball, catching it off pin downs, screens away from the ball, so he can get in the corner, so he can catch it, move and shoot, instead of walking the ball up the floor and letting defense set up against him. Even though Luka pushes it more than like a James Harden does, but Luka does the dribble too much. And too much one-on-one with Luka. Take the ball out of Luka's hands more. Not all the time. He can come up sometimes, especially when it's transition break. He should be pushing it. But, of course, you should be starting Jalen Brunson, Luka at the 2, Tim Hardaway Jr. or Finley at the 3, Porzingis at the 4. They're not starting Powell because he's coming back from the Achilles, I think, or ACL. So you start Willie Cauley-Stein at the 5. Willie Cauley-Stein or Kleber at the 5. To get I like Willie Cauley-Stein because of the athleticism. And if you can get Willie Cauley-Stein to play the Clint Capella role, rebound, putbacks, offensive rebounds, dunks, screens. That's all we need him to do. Play hard defense, block shots, deter. That's what we need him to do. And the Mavericks should be better. But Rick Carlisle's either stubbornness or fear of Luka to take the ball out. You got to take the ball away from Luka. His ego, Luka is the problem. He's a ball hog. You got to save him from himself. He tries to pass, but he passes too much when he's in distress. He's not seeing it before it happens. Maybe that's just because he hasn't been in the league long enough. But the coach has to step in, take the ball out of his hands, give it to a point guard. Jalen Brunson is a very capable point guard, really good shooter. He should be out there orchestrating the offense. The Grizzlies, I brushed past the Grizzlies, who are at 9, at 13 and 13, right behind the Warriors at 16 and 15. Warriors are. The Grizzlies, they just need Ja Morant to play better. I only seen them play a couple of times. They're 7 and 4 away, 6 and 9 at home. This is just a young team. Brooks probably should get more shots. Brooks should probably drive the ball more and get more free throws also. He has James Harden potential, I think. Brooks, they're 2. I'm blanking on his first name. But he should be getting more touches and should be getting into the paint more. So should Ja, but I know Ja come back off injury. I'm not concerned about Ja shooting the 3. I want Ja to shoot more mid-range coming off screens. I want Ja to continue to move around. I want Ja to steal some of Steph Curry's thunder. Do what Steph Curry does, because with his athleticism and finishing ability, if he can move like Steph off the ball, without the ball, he can get a lot of easy buckets, because Steph does it and he just lays it up, but Ja can finish dunking, finish over people. I think Ja really should think about watch Steph Curry and really try to implement some of that ball, moving off the ball. Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks should also be driving more. He's a big, thick guy. He can get to the basket more. Justice Winslow never played for them. I don't know. Justice Winslow, to me, is a bust. Along with a lot of the rest of the Duke players. He could develop. He could play better later, but I'm not a big Justice Winslow fan, even if he came back. But they need a 3. They're a 3 and D guy at the 3 spot to go with Ja, Dylan. Valanciunas playing, he's really a really good player. To me, Valanciunas is an all-star type of player. Maybe not better than Vucevic in Orlando, but a really good player. Maybe a tier under Vucevic. But Valanciunas is a really good player. To me, he's above Cantor. He's better offensive player than Cantor, but do a lot of similar things as Cantor. Their bench is not that deep in Memphis either. That's gonna be another another issue with them. Their defense not being that deep. The Pelicans at 13 and 17 should be better, especially with the way Brandon Ingram has developed. They should be mid-level. They should be right below the Spurs. They should have maybe the Nuggets record, 16 and 14. They should be borderline 6-7 seed. But right now, 13 and 17. The Kings, I thought the Kings would be better. And I'm not one to blame Luke Walton. I blame GM roster structure, because Buddy Hield is not turned into a perennial all-star. They traded DeMarcus Cousins for Buddy Hield. That to me is a bust. Buddy Hield is a bust as a lottery pick. He's a good player, but he's a bust as a lottery pick. I would take Karis LeVert over Buddy Hield. And Karis LeVert wasn't a lottery pick, I don't think. The Thunder, Rockets, Timberwolves, they're about what we thought they would be. Maybe the Rockets I thought maybe would be 13 and 15 like the Mavs are. They're 11 and 17. The Timberwolves, D'Angelo can't stay healthy. Karl-Anthony Towns, he can't stay healthy, and mentally he's been crushed because of the loss of his mother and that COVID shit. Even though I'm not gonna go in on COVID here, but that bullshit. But Timberwolves, they should be better. They should be better than 7 wins at this point of the season. 3 and 13 on the road, 4 and 11 at home. Lost 4 in a row. Of course, D'Angelo Russell will be out for a couple of months or a month or more with this new injury. I think it's a knee. Karl-Anthony Towns being in and out of the lineup all year. And when he's in the lineup, he's not dominating. He looks mentally weak, fragile, broken. I wouldn't put my faith in Karl-Anthony Towns. This is my opinion. Maybe they should trade him. Like I say, teams like Minnesota, even Oklahoma City, Sacramento, they should go more international. International guys will play there with no problem. The Spurs, of course, they can trade for guys, but the Spurs are in Texas, but to me, they're a team that should maybe go more international. The Suns, I don't know if they can keep Devin Booker, but they can keep Devin Booker and Ayton together. But if teams where guys don't want to go, the Jazz, I believe Donovan Mitchell is going to take the $200 million. He's not going to walk away from $200 million. I don't think he's going to walk away from it. I think Utah will keep him until close to his 10th year. He'll be done by then. That's another argument too that I would love to get into, is how players are done by the time they get through. They're restricted free agents, and by the time that second deal is done, they're old. Even though they still have tread on the tire, they're old. But yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns, he's been in the league 7 years or something, over 5 years, and it's just not working in Minnesota. They should use him and try to refill out their team. Similar to what the Nuggets did with Carmelo. That's what they should do. So they're about where we thought at the bottom, even though I was hoping to see D'Angelo and Cat at least play together and play well and be fun to watch. The rookie that they got from Georgia, I'm blanking on his name right now. I'm bad with names. I'm terrible with names. Edwards, I think his name is. This guy is. I thought he was going to be Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. out of NC State. I thought Anthony Edwards. I thought Anthony Edwards would be Dennis Smith Jr. That's what I thought. But Anthony Edwards is a lot better than Dennis Smith Jr. Not only athletically, they are comparable, but mentally, Anthony Edwards is head and shoulders above Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. might have had that mental damage done in Dallas. That Luka thing really damaged him. He's been traded to Detroit, I believe. He asked to be moved to the D League. Dennis Smith Jr. did, and I thought that was noble of him. That shows some humbling and self-reflection because his problem is mental. He's athletic. He can play. But mentally he just hasn't been there. But Anthony Edwards has been a lot better than I thought he would be. I thought he would be Dennis Smith Jr. I wouldn't have touched him in the top 5 picks. I've been proven wrong. This guy could be someone to build around. But if you're Minnesota, can you keep him there? Will he want to stay in cold-ass Minnesota? I mean, he's a brother. He's a black guy, dark-skinned brother like me. I'm pretty sure that brother like the sun. And Atlanta, Miami, Orlando, California, all sound better. Even New York is better than being cold in fucking Minnesota. Even though I never been to Minnesota, but Stephon Marbury once famously called it Minnesota. So I don't think nothing, but a lot of brothers want to be there. So can you keep him there? Well, he's a great player. He's a really good rookie, great rookie. The Rockets, John Wall DTMs a lot. He does too much a lot. John Wall, man, come on. Just play your game. He needs to slow down a little bit. Oladipo and John Wall, that's like having Litter and McCullough in the backcourt. Unless it's Stephen Clay, that shit ain't gonna work. It's Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal. It's not gonna work having 2 ball-dominant guys in the backcourt together. That ain't gonna work. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the only point guard to ever lead their team in scoring and win a championship was Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments on that if it's another one. Maybe Magic Johnson. But Magic Johnson, to me, he was a point guard, but he wasn't similar. Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry are similar in size as far as being smaller, and more true point guard type. Even though Magic played like a true point guard, but he was bigger. Penny Hardaway he played like a true point guard, but Penny Hardaway was bigger. But Penny Hardaway was a point guard. He wasn't a 2 to me. Penny Hardaway was right where he's supposed to be. He was a point. Even though he got moved off the ball after the injury. Yeah, I mean, John Wall needs to slow it down, man. With DeMarcus Cousins, he needs to lose weight. He's too big, too heavy. He's tore his Achilles and his knee. And to me, he needs to get skinny. He needs to be DeAndre Jordan skinny. No, I'm just built thick. Nah, bro. You need to lose that weight. You need to lose that weight, bro. DeMarcus Cousins looks too heavy. He's slow. He's been starting with the injury to the young guy, the young phenom. I'm blanking on his name. Christian Wood. DeMarcus played good a couple of games, but he's just not athletic enough anymore. He's too slow, too heavy to play a lot of minutes. He's going to get hurt again if they don't fix his conditioning, his weight. He needs to go vegan, lose that weight. He needs to lose 20 more pounds. I'm sorry, I know people have 20 more pounds. He's not 21 no more. DeMarcus Cousins is too big. He can hit the 3, and when he's making the 3, that's the only time his points impact the game. Other than that, Oladipo is a great player, but it's just not going to work with him and John Wall next to each other. It's not going to work. Trade Oladipo, get a small forward, a 3 type of guy to bring in if you want to play with John Wall, or bring in a 4 that can play with John Wall. I just don't think that's going to work. It's not the coach's fault there either. Thunder, of course. Thunder. Hey, Chris Paul, it shows you how great he was. These people are 12 and 18 this year. Of course, they lost Steven Adams too. But Steven Adams is on another garbage team. There's only one game on the loss side better than them. So the Pelicans should be better. I'm not blaming Stan Van, even though Stan Van hasn't been on the winner in a minute. But I blame, maybe Stan Van. Maybe Stan Van is to blame because of the lineup. I don't know the way they're playing. And another thing, they may need to trade Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball wants to play with his brother. I don't think Lonzo Ball will be happy until he's playing with his brother. And or playing elsewhere. He's not happy in New Orleans. They need to get him out. They need to get him and Eric Bledsoe out if that team wants to thrive. So maybe they need a big trade to change the dynamics of that team also. And just be Brandon Ingram's team, Brandon Ingram and Zion. I think Zion can play together, but Lonzo, Brandon, and Zion won't be able to play together. I think Zion and Lonzo could play better if Lonzo wanted to be there without Brandon. But maybe Zion and Brandon Ingram may not be able to play together. That might not work, not because of those two guys, but just because of the dynamics of having those two guys with similar scoring, not similar skills, but they both could play the 3 or the 4, maybe. Zion could lose that weight. He's more of a Charles Barkley skill level with Sean Kemp athleticism, so that's 3 or the 4. Charles Barkley played the 3 in the beginning of his career, the 4 in Phoenix. Brandon Ingram is more of a 2-3 guy, and maybe that might be a conflict there, similar to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's conflict in the way the dynamic plays out on the floor. Gordon Hayward and those guys, it just didn't work. It's better when a point guard is playing with a small forward or a point guard is playing with a big man. When it's the backcourt, or the 3 forward guys, it usually doesn't work as well. But yeah, I just don't expect much out of the Pelicans until they make significant changes to their roster. Mavericks, like we just talked about, the Mavericks, I blame the coach a lot and his rotation and his unwillingness to take the ball out of Luka's hand. I had a problem with their lineup. Luka should be doing some ball handling, but not the bulk of it. The Grizzlies, like I said, I don't think the Grizzlies are a playoff team, but they're a really good team. They're a talented team. I don't think they're a playoff team, but they are talented. Let's see how that shakes out. I'm not a big believer in their ability to do anything but make it and get swept or win one game. The Warriors are a team that really could beat one of the top 3 teams if they play right. And I don't like their lineup either, and a lot of people don't. But I'm going to say what I think the Warriors lineup should be is either Wiseman or the other center, Looney. Wiseman or Looney. I told you I'm bad with names. Wiseman or Looney at center. Eric Pascal at the 4. Some people would disagree. Either you put Draymond on the bench or you start Draymond at the 3 and let Draymond be point forward like Scottie Pippen style, because that will work. And then you play. It is hurting that Draymond has been missing. It's in Draymond's head. Draymond can shoot better than he's been shooting. Draymond at the 3, Andrew Wiggins at the 2, Steph Curry at the 1. Steph Curry playing the 1, Andrew Wiggins at the 2. Excuse me. Draymond at the 3, Eric Pascal at the 4, and Wiseman or Looney down at the 5. To me, that's a better starting lineup because Pascal can stretch the floor. You might want to put Wiseman on the bench and let him come off the bench where he can use his offensive game because he's not good on defense yet. Looney is a much better defensive player. He knows defense better. So you start those guys. Pascal can stretch the floor. He can shoot the jumper. He can also score off the block. I think that is a better dynamic than Draymond at the 4. Let Draymond play the small forward and let him be point forward. I think that would help them. They want Pascal off the bench for his scoring. Start Pascal at the 4. Steve Kerr could be getting exposed to me this year as far as his lineups, because before it was easy. 3 people were already chosen in the lineup: Steph, Clay, and Kevin Durant. The other 2 were inconsequential. And before then, Mark Jackson had already laid out a blueprint for how they were going to play. Steve just came in and implemented tweaks. He really tweaked what was already going on there. It was more tweaks. Mark Jackson, one of those stubborn guys again, Steve was able to tweak that and make it better. So the Warriors at 8, I think they should be better. Record-wise, maybe I don't know if they could be up higher, but record-wise, they should be 3 games above 500 at least. At least. the Nuggets. I mean, the Nuggets are 16 and 14. They should be 5 games above 500 or better based on the bubble. The Nuggets should be better. They lost Craig, which was a defensive guy. They lost Jerry Grant. Jermaine Grant. Jerry Grant. I'm sorry. Grant. They lost Grant to the Pistons, which was a good defensive player, and now we see was an even better offensive player than he was allowed to show. Murray is a great offensive player, but not really a guy who's going to make teammates better. He's a 2 to me. He shouldn't be your primary ball handler. Michael Porter Jr. not really stepped up, especially defensively. He comes and goes offensively also. They lost another guy, and I can't remember who it is. I like Dozier. That guy, I love his body movement, the way he moves on the floor. I'm a really big fan of the Dozier kid. He should play more. I like their coach. Maybe they should trade Millsap. Millsap, to me, could be hurting them. They should play through Joker more. Let Joker be the point guard if you're going to stay pat as far as your roster. Play through Joker. Everybody plays off of him. More cutting, more moving. Let Joker get the ball on the block, either side, top of the key. Let him get the ball from there and work pass, either pass, score, or shoot the jumper, depending on how far away from the basket he is. Shit'll get off the pot, Jokic. And the Spurs are farther than I thought. I don't have a lot of. I haven't seen them play a lot because I'm actually surprised when I looked at their record and seen that they were 5 games above 500. I was shocked that the Spurs were that good. Turn back on that player shit. Yeah, the Spurs, I don't have much to say about them. I'm not a big DeMar DeRozan fan. I'm not a big believer in LaMarcus Aldridge. Just a fan of their game. I think they're mentally weak, and I think that's a problem. Spurs should make some trades and change their team, in my opinion. DeJounte Murray, we're waiting on him to get back. He had that terrible knee injury. I'm just not a believer in the Spurs, but the record says it. And they are 9-3 on the road. Road Warriors, 7-3 in their last 10. 1-2 in a row. Trailblazers, shocked. They're 10-5 on the road. Shocked that they're playing this well without CJ McCullough. But shocked that they're playing this well based on how they looked when the season first started. They did not look that good to me, and I'm not a believer in their coach. I don't believe in their coach, and I think their roster is weaker than it should be. They let guys go that shouldn't have. And to me, Rodney Hood is a good player, but I'm not sure you should have fought tooth and nail to bring him back. I mean, he did opt out and then come back, so maybe he took less. I'm not sure on his numbers, but I like Carmelo if he's playing the 4. Center, Nurkic stays hurt. A lot of these European players stay hurt. Nurkic stays hurt. Can't depend on him. Should have kept Whiteside. Should have brought back Trevor Ariza to keep that defensive gritty mindset. If CJ and Dame are going to play together, Dame has to pass more. Dame has to help make CJ better. Dame does have time to just say he has to do it. I know people might not like me saying that. Oh, you're blaming Dame Lillard for CJ's mistakes. I'm just saying Dame Lillard could be a better passer and CJ could be better or benefit from Dame passing or seeing the game better. Letting CJ come off screens and pin downs, and Dame just coming down getting CJ going a little bit. Then CJ score. And he's been, to Dame's credit, he's been better at that this season. CJ got hurt. But I don't believe they can win anything. I believe the only 2 people who can win a championship when their 2 best players are ball dominant like that are Steph and Klay. And no offense to Dame or CJ. Like I said, I like the Suns, especially Chris Paul. They're really, really good. They're at 19-10. Could they upset the Clippers, Lakers, or Jazz in a 7-game series? Maybe. I give them a puncher's chance. I give them a puncher's chance against the top 3 seeds. Suns, I give a puncher's chance to. Trailblazers, I give a puncher's chance to, but they got these white players that stay hurt. Zach Collins stays hurt. Maybe this time it's not his fault, it's the surgery's fault, but Zach Collins stays hurt. Nurkic just seems to be staying hurt. Seems to be a problem there. Nasir Little, a guy who really athletic, can finish around the basket, run the floor. He hasn't played much. He seems to be coming back to play now, so maybe he can play better. So maybe the Trailblazers, Spurs, and Suns maybe can challenge those top three. The Nuggets maybe can. Well, we know the Nuggets can beat the Clippers. Maybe they can. They're not looking like the same Nuggets anymore. Maybe the Warriors can challenge. So from 4 to 8 is the Suns, Trailblazers, Spurs, Nuggets, Warriors. Any of those teams can beat Clippers, Lakers, or Jazz. Maybe so. In the 7-game series, maybe so. Maybe so. So it's a lot closer than in the East. In the East, I don't think it's even a question. Those top 3 teams and maybe the Heat. But yeah, I like the Clippers. The Clippers, they're at 3 spot, 22-10. Pretty even on the road, 11-6 at home, 11-4 on the road. I mean, it's 6-4 in their last 10, which is a little. Hey, are we falling back into the pack here a little bit? Maybe. The Lakers at 22-9. Look, they're 7-3 in their last 10. They're 13-3 away, only 9-6 at home. But being road warriors is bodes well for them. I don't like the way they play without AD. I like Marc Gasol, but maybe Marc Gasol should just focus on rebounding and just playing in the paint. Not so much threes because it's hurting them. I like Schroeder when he's there. He hasn't been there. That hurts him. Caldwell Pope, very inconsistent, up and down. Very up and down guy, Caldwell Pope is. Because he's a jump shooter. Jump shooters, you can't depend on that shit to work all the time. Caldwell Pope, maybe when it's not going, go to the basket, get to the line. Come on, guys, it's basketball. It's not the Rubik's Cube. Come on. Any other criticism of the Lakers? Lakers are a good team. AD maybe wants to play a little more aggressive. I like the way they've been playing. They when LeBron and AD are there, they're just you put whatever else you want around those two guys. Wesley Matthews, his shit coming and going. Their bench probably needs to play better, more consistent. Kyle Kuzma is a guy that they probably want to be more consistent. Maybe want him to be more of a 15 to 18 a night, points per game a night guy. Maybe want him to get 6 to 7 rebounds a night. You want Kyle to focus more on playing defense and helping out defensively. But the Lakers, I mean, hey, they're a really good team. If I'm them, I don't play Anthony Davis again until April, until right before the playoffs, a couple of weeks before the playoffs, because this calf/Achilles shit, I'm not taking a risk with it. I'm sending him down in a boot until April at least. And the Jazz is a total shock to me. I like Donovan Mitchell. I'm a big Donovan Mitchell fan. I wish he would get the fuck out of prejudice as Utah. I never root for Utah, but I really like Donovan Mitchell's game. It seems as though Joe Ingles is starting to shoot better now. Rudy Gobert is hell to score around the basket with him. He doesn't move side to side well though, but it's difficult to score around the basket with a guy that tall blocking shots. Their power forward is going to be Bogdanovich. Yeah, I mean, they're good. Mike Conley, they thought it would work sooner, but Mike Conley has shown to be a really good player. He's playing off the ball a lot more because Conley had to adjust to Donovan. Donovan didn't adjust to Conley. I think Donovan should be playing off the ball more, me personally. But I know he's one of the best players that had the ball in their hands. But I think Donovan kind of needs an Eric Snow, and Conley has been that. Eric Snow in reference to Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, they tried to make him a point guard at first. If people remember, Allen Iverson was trying to be made a point guard in the beginning. But Larry Brown came in, took the ball out of Larry Brown, strong personality. He fought tooth and nail with Allen Iverson. He won Allen Iverson over later. Allen Iverson didn't like Larry Brown at first because Larry Brown took the ball out of his hands, gave it to Eric Snow, and let Eric Snow control what was going on the floor. Allen adjusted and became a better player, went to the finals. So I'm just saying, Donovan, although he's good with the ball in his hands, maybe shouldn't have it so much. Maybe let Mike run the offense. That's my only criticism of them, but hey, my criticism is moot. They're 24-6. They obviously have adjusted. Mike adjusted, and now is playing off the ball fine. So it's working. It can work as long as Mike can continue to hit the three, continue to move without the ball, and Donovan continue to pass. Donovan has to stay above 5 assists for the entire year, in my opinion, for these guys to sustain this. And Jordan Clarkson off the bench, 6 Man of the Year candidate, really, really good player. Always like his game, and at the Lakers, I love this game. Very difficult to play with LeBron when he was in Cleveland. Most guys don't play well with LeBron. That's another knock on the Lakers. Very difficult to play with LeBron. I think LeBron needs to fix that, not the other guys. Yeah, I think Jordan Clarkson has really been big for them off the bench. They got some gritty guys off the bench that play defense, that's scrappy, that don't take bad shots. You have very few bad shot takers on the Jazz team. That helps them. With a record like that, they're 11-4 on the road, 13-2 at home. The Jazz, you can't knock them much. That shit's working. Quinn Snyder, he looks like an alcoholic, but he is coaching the shit out of them boys. They look really good, way better than I thought they would be. I did not think they would be the number 1 seed. They've been good in the regular season before, but being the number 1 seed, you could say that's the fault of the other teams not playing up to their potential. But hey, the Jazz got it. Goddamn it. So that's my synopsis. I went 40 minutes. I wasn't trying to go 40 minutes. I swear, guys. I was just rambling. I wanted to get that in, man, and just talk about, man, what's going on in the leagues. Just talk about what's going on in the NBA. Talk about what I see, what I'm seeing, what I think. I didn't want to make any predictions, but out of the West, I did make predictions in the East. The West, the conference finals. I'm thinking Clippers, Lakers. I mean, that's the obvious choice. Clippers, Lakers. Maybe Lakers, Jazz. I see the Lakers coming out of the West if Anthony Davis is healthy. If Anthony Davis isn't healthy, man, it's wide open. If Anthony Davis isn't healthy, it's wide open. It should be the Mavericks or the Suns or the Jazz, but the Mavericks are so disappointing. So it could be the Suns or the Jazz if Anthony Davis isn't healthy. The Clippers, I don't really believe in their mental makeup either. It should be them if it's not the Lakers, but I don't necessarily believe in the Clippers' mental makeup. I don't like their starting lineup, and to me, Ty Lue is overrated as a coach. I'm gonna say it. So, I predict Lakers. It should be the Clippers. It could be the Suns, Jazz, Warriors, or Mavs. I mean, I have no idea. This is the most wide open the West is, especially with AD being hurt. So it's hard to make a prediction on the West. But there it is, man. That's it. It's your boy Mike D, man. Straight out of Poverty Radio. We in this motherfucker talking this shit. Having a good time. Smoke them if you got them. Enjoy the games, man. Bet. Make some money. Just enjoy life, man. YOLO, man. You only live once, man. Jet life. Just enjoy this shit. You feel me? Smoke something out there. And just enjoy everything, man. Have fun. It's a fun topic. Upbeat. We enjoy sports. It's some man shit. Men connect, talk. Let's be respectful. And man, we can disagree. I'm not gonna be emotional. Fuck that. But straight out of Poverty Radio, your boy Mike D. We out of here, y'all. Peace. Smoke some, bitch.